Hey, everybody. Listen, welcome in the building. It's Sunday night. It's trending topics. It's a little late tonight, but I'm here. I'm in the building, and I'm happy to see y'all. Glad y'all here hanging out with the Diva, okay? Listen, y'all know the routine. If you coming in, do the Diva a favor. Hit the like button, people. Hit the like button. Help me get those lights up, and it'll help out my channel too. But listen, everybody, we're here tonight, and the title is it them or is it us? Are we crazy or are they crazy? That's pretty much what I'm trying to say tonight. We got the hoops drama with this little leagues again. Well, actually, it's not a little league because I think it was like a middle school basketball game. A mother, and this time I'm going to say rightfully so, because it's not always right when the parents jump in. But a mother watching the game saw her son getting beat down darn near the whole game. And towards the end, she said, let me just go down there and kind of get in the middle of it. She ain't touched nobody, kid. She was just trying to save her kid from getting a whole full-blown beat down. And her question is, what were the refs doing? I told y'all, these games are starting violent in the little league. And then we wonder why by the time these athletes get to the NBA, to the professional or the college level, it's out of control. Because it was out of control from the root. When you're building a house, they tell you your foundation, make sure your foundation is strong. Because the inside of that house can be absolutely gorgeous, but if the foundation is weak and there's a crack in the foundation, eventually your whole house is going to come tumbling down. When you live in an area that gets flooded, they tell you normally, if it's not already built, to build your house up on a level, so to speak. So when the floods come, it won't take your house down. Well, we need to clean these sports up from the little league. I have done things on this channel where somebody lost their life at a little league game. The coach got mad with the father. Next thing you know, somebody's gone. Literally, we're burying somebody over a game. Did another story this year where the kids went to go observe a game. One teenager is dead. The other teenager is facing life in prison. Jail time. Instead of heading to college, he's headed to a courtroom. We got to stop the violence and the nonsense at these games. But we're going to talk about it. I mean, are we crazy or is it dumb? Then you know what? I tried to lean off of Meghan Markle because I was like, at first I was like, why does everybody just dislike her? But in 5 years, and you on your 11th publicist, you might be the problem. You might be the problem. 5 years, 11 different people, can nobody stay with you? We're going to talk about it because it's problematic. And then you know what? I guess nobody else sent the memo. So help Diva spread and send this memo to the people. The black people need to wake up. When you seriously think you can do what they do in these streets, you a whole fool. You a whole fool. We got another politician. She is being accused of stealing money from the FEMA benefits. Some of the money she's accused of filtering it to an insurance company that is owned by her family. Some of the money she's being accused of using to buy a $109,000 ring. Who wants to walk around, unless you like a Uber celebrity, because they can't go nowhere anyway without their security and all of that. But who wants to walk around with a $100,000 ring on their finger, I'll take a pass. Even if I had that type, don't show me that. Need nobody chopping off my finger in the street because they want this ring. $109,000. The FEMA benefits. You know what's sad? The people that actually need these benefits, when they go to fill out the application is so extensive. And if you do one thing wrong on the application, they tell you got to start all over again. When they call to get answers, they don't get no callbacks. It take weeks. And you got to go through hoops to get the money. You know, from all of these different storms, from storms that destroy houses down by the shore in New Jersey. And I mean, and we could probably name any given state. There are people 5-6 years later still waiting for the money from these funds to help them rebuild their homes. And you got this representative here just taking the money and buying a ring for $109,000. How do you sleep at night? And that's why people be giving charities the side eye. They don't want to give up their money because of people like this. She says she's innocent. But what's funny is she took a picture in the ring that is part of, I guess, whatever wall out there, and she used it on all of her social media platforms. She was proudly displaying that ring in the photo. And so now all of these accusations comes up, and she photoshops a ring out the picture. Now you got to make that make sense to me. If I purchased the ring with my money, why would I need to Photoshop it out? Listen, people, y'all know what time it is. It's time for me to bring the people in the building. So what I need in the chat, I need a choo-choo. Hold aboard, everybody. It is Sunday night trending topics, and we got stuff to talk about. The title is called, Is It Them or Is It Us? Okay, we got the hoops drama, Meghan Markle fallout, and we got this Sheila McCormick. They're claiming she's a thief. Let me bring the people in the building. Hey, Felicia. Hey, My Opinion. Hey, Savannah.
Hey, Diva.
Hey, Julius. Listen, y'all.
Hey, hit the like button for the Diva.
Hit the like button. You know, first I'm going to go in this story with the hoop dreams. I feel for this mother. I feel for the young athletes. Something has got to be done. Let me go ahead and share screen so we can get into this story. Make sure I got the right screen here.
Loudoun County mother speaking out after her son was injured during a youth basketball game. The incident was caught on camera, and the moment she stepped onto the court has since gone viral, sparking a heated debate online about safety, referees, and when parents should step in. Our Alexis Wainwright spoke to the parent at the center of it all and explains what led up to the incident.
The parent I spoke with says her son was left with a swollen jaw, a gash on his tongue, and a bruise after this game. Many of the injuries, she says, could have been prevented, but now she's presenting a bigger question. When is it appropriate for a parent to intervene?
Boom, elbow to the head. No foul call.
This now viral video shows a Northern Virginia youth basketball game that quickly escalated.
I think there was 2 hits to the head, face area, weren't called. The illegal screens that were set, I think they called 1.
Natalie Gramblin, whose son plays for Farmwell Station Basketball League, says referees missed multiple calls during a recent game.
He's leaning forward and making contact, making sure he hits them hard and blindsiding them.
During this play, Gramblin's son takes another hit, then he was shoved off the court into the stands.
Never have I felt the need to run on the court or interject in that way. And it was like, no one's stopping this. Like he's been doing this the entire game.
With just seconds left on the clock, Gramblin steps onto the court out of fear of what might happen next.
They're saying that decision for me to come on the court was a situation that made the playing field unsafe. And I'm like, I don't think I made it unsafe. I think the kid who was actually hurting people made it unsafe.
The league later ruled the game as a double forfeit because of her actions. The player who shoved her son was suspended for 2 games. Still unsure about the decision, Gremlin posted the video on social media originally to get feedback from friends and family.
These are actual injuries that kids are facing, and it starts with the referees managing the games better. And that was my whole, premise behind this.
The video has now been viewed more than 2 million times, with many viewers siding with Gremlin and others sharing similar experiences. She says the response highlights a broader issue in youth sports.
I won't say they're brushing it off, but I think the lack of serious concern at this age isn't appropriate.
She wants this to serve as a lesson that there needs to be more accountability with referees in these leagues moving forward.
I've requested today actually a formal appeal. What does the rule book say for situations like this specifically, where as a parent you see your child injured?
Now, Gremlin says she doesn't regret stepping in to protect her son. Now, since she posted the videos, the family of the other player has pressed charges and requested a protective order, but those charges were dismissed. They're expected to be back in court in January. Now, we did reach out to Loudoun County Schools. They say they are not affiliated with these games. We also reached out to the league and Department of Parks and Rec, but we haven't heard back just yet. Alexis Wainwright, WUSA 9.
This is wild. Felicia, your thoughts?
Hey, everybody. Good evening. Good evening. Yeah. So that was a lot going on there. I'm a mother and I have male children and they played sports. Yep. The clips that I saw, I didn't get to see, all the players because I was trying to figure out which one was hers and then follow that. I think if I was her and I saw that going on to the point where he was getting bruised like that, I would have just taken him out of the game. I don't think I would have went and got on the court. I think I would have just went over to the coach and said, I think we've had enough, and I would have brought him out of the game. And then I would have followed up and asked, what is the protocol? What's the role of the ref? What's the role of the coaches? Who's there to ensure that these children aren't being assaulted while playing a sport? The sport is... Okay, I'm just going to go there. Basketball for me has been ghetto since the 90s. I'm sorry. It's been overly physical, overly violent, verbally abusive. I think the reason why it remains popular is because if you have talent and you can go on to the NBA, it can change your life. But I look at all the young people, males and females, who along the line don't go and get damaged and harmed and hurt behind these kinds of things. And so if he was my kid, truth is he wouldn't be playing. That's the truth. Okay. So yeah, I give this mother kudos for wanting to go out there and put it out there. Maybe it will change how the game gets played and how the children are treated. But until then, I say just stay away from it. I'm done.
Thank you. In my opinion, your thoughts?
So I'm of 2 minds. And my first mind is she saw her son being hit once. Nobody did nothing. The next time, he pushed the boy into the stands. If you've seen it, he slid across the court. To me, I'd have been out of my seat too. I don't know about nobody else, but that's my kid there. And to see him slide the way that boy slid, I would have jumped out of my chair. Okay, I don't care about no rules no more. I don't care about none of that. If you ain't gonna protect my child, you best believe I'm gonna protect him. While I'm saying this, the first time it happened, I would have had to pull somebody aside. I'm sorry, I'm not gonna let it happen twice. So the first time it happened, I guess I probably would have, it wouldn't have never been a second time, because the first time I would have hopped up and got to the side of the court and talked to somebody. Okay, somebody gonna tell me something while my kid is out here being attacked on the court and it ain't nobody doing nothing about it. I think these referees are problematic in all sports. They want to call what they want to call. And depending on which team they affiliated with, some place they don't call, the fouls and stuff because that's the team that they're affiliated with. I think we need to have more referees that are not affiliated with any team in any sports because this is where the problem comes in at. If the home court has their referee there, best believe the home court team gonna get away with a lot more than the visiting team. If the visiting team is bringing their referees, best believe the visiting team is gonna get away with more than the home team. This is where we need to draw a line. Nobody needs to be affiliated with nobody. So we actually get calls and plays called out the right way. And this is across all boards. This kids, professional, whatever. These refs are problematic. And it makes the fans problematic. It makes the parents problematic. When you have people that keep continuing and condoning this, and then too, we need coaches that are teaching people that this is a team sport. It's not an I in team. One person shouldn't be up here manhandling everybody else from the opposite team. So while I feel like, you know what, she had every right to go out there and get her baby. All I'm saying is we need to get these referees in line.
No, I agree with you in my opinion because it needs to be neutral referees to start with. Julius, your thoughts?
So that mom's actions brought a memory back into my mind. When I was a kid, my sister used to play basketball. And they had a game once, and the referees was just letting the other team do whatever. Now, I always told y'all, my dad is from the South. He from Mississippi. If he sees something that's not right, he gonna say something. Oh, he said something. He got right in the ref's face, cussed him right out, told him what he wasn't doing, what he was allowing wasn't right, cussed him right out. And the ref was shell shocked. He was trying to get my dad. My dad wasn't playing. So then after that, my dad asked the rest of us because my entire family was there. My cousins played with my sister too, and we all said he was right because we all seen it. I was 7 when this happened, and so 25 and a half years later, to still see this going on, I commend that mother. Because to me, allegedly, it looked like that boy, yes, he was pushed, but he looked like he was pushed. Now, I used to do MMA. I know a punch when I see it. That's what it seemed like to me because how far in the forceful way he went back. And then the boy's parents wanted to press charges against her. No, that mother needs to be pressing charges against those parents and their child. So if we're going to clock T, let's clock that.
Thank you, Julius. Katrina, your thoughts?
Hey Diva, hey panel, hey chat. Hopefully my stream yard will be good tonight. My thing is, I wondered, did they have a disagreement or do they know each other? Because the whole time this boy was pushing on this other boy like, I'm knocking you out this game. The whole time, I don't know if her son was a good player because they always go for the good players. They try to knock him out, injure him, and do whatever they got to do. Because the whole time he was been knocking, trying to get this boy up out the game. And the thing of it is, that was a flagrant foul. They had flagrant fouls the whole time, so he should have been pulled out the game. The one to be an aggressor, he should have been out the game. The thing of it is, I'm like what Felicia's saying. I would have pulled my child out of there because I know my temper, and if I seen somebody doing that to my child, yeah, we probably be windmilling. Yeah, because I fight kids. And I'm just playing, y'all. I don't fight kids. But anyway, I'm just saying, it was more aggression towards this boy than basketball. The way that he was reacting to him is something else. Maybe the boy took his girlfriend. Think of it as maybe the boy, the best player on the team. And as you said with these coaches, half of the time the coaches they'll pay them, especially because it's not even associated with the school. I think this is associated with like the little youth program they got going around in that neighborhood. Sports are dangerous, regardless of what sport it is. It could be tennis, you can pull something. And you putting your body through a lot of strain when you running up and down that courts and all that type of stuff. Football, they get hit. It's a lot. So if you're gonna have your child in this sport, make sure you see what type of team there is. Let's see you see what type of neighborhood they're playing for and who they're playing against it, because they're gonna give you the ledger. It's all about fun. But as I see this boy basically was actually coming after him the whole game. Like he was trying to knock him out or something. It's just crazy. And yeah, she went on the field and I mean on the court, and I don't blame her. But when they did it the first two times, the coach should have pulled that boy out of that game. Instead, they kept him going, and he was still playing, and he's causing more harm. This is ridiculous. And as Julia said, you file charges on me? No, you can't file charges on me. That's why they got dismissed. And if he tried to file charges on them, they're going to say it's a contact sport. Ain't nothing we can do about that. And it's sad, but I don't think that other person need to be playing no basketball. Maybe he need to go on the football field or whatever, because he's too aggressive. And he's playing like that, he's not going to go nowhere far anyway. But anyway, that's all I got, Diva.
Thank you. Savannah, your thoughts?
So I was focused on more of the aggressive player in the video, because it seemed like this behavior is something that's probably taught by the adults in his life, because it just seemed that he wasn't there for the fun of the sport. It just showed poor sportsmanship, and that aggressive behavior is something that he's learned somewhere. Because it's some of these parents in all the videos that we've seen, and as we know, some of these parents, they treat kids sports like professional sports, and they live this fantasy of what they could have been through their children. And so therefore they put pressures on their kids to be extra aggressive, or to be basically disrespecting the sport and other players, and so that just like kills the fun out of the game in itself. So I focus on that child that was being more the aggressor. Kudos for the mom. I would have definitely stepped in as well, but it's a shame that children, we live in a society where everybody gets an award, everybody has to have a trophy, and these kids nowadays, in my experience, what I see is they have no coping skills, and they don't know how to lose gracefully. They definitely don't know how to lose and shake the other team's hand, and when the other side has won. It's just messed up, and that behavior comes from home, and maybe even the coaches also model that behavior as well. So this young man is in a whole ream of disappointment if he continues with that behavior.
No, I agree with you. Thank you, Savannah. Callie, your thoughts?
Yeah, somebody needed to step in. So if the ref wasn't going to do anything, I mean, I don't think any adult should just be sitting there watching that. These are kids. Somebody needed to stop that situation. And as someone else said, they're lucky she didn't file charges on their child. They're trying to file charges on her. But again, as somebody just said, these parents are living this dream through these kids, and they in this fantasy world, and they taking all this stuff way too seriously. Hopefully this league will reevaluate how they handle these type of incidents, because there's no parent is gonna sit there and let somebody assault their kid. They're just not. Those parents are in the stands. Not only that, they're paying money for these kids to play in these leagues. I don't know what they thought was going to happen. Either the ref is going to stop it, or the parent is going to get upset. Again, these are children. So I don't know what's going on with them people over there, but hopefully they never let this happen again.
Hopefully. hopefully. So my son played basketball all the way through high school. And I've seen wild stuff like this happen. And I seen them not stopping until the bitter end. Like she said, that one was obvious and very aggressive. He just went and just pushed them. I seen teams jump out the stand and both teams get the fighting. It's crazy to me, and it's sad. But like you said, some of these leagues, they could cause you anywhere from $3,500 to $5,000, depending upon which league you're going to be a part of. The
You
leagues
got that right.
is very pricey. And then there's some teams where they want the kids to coordinate with their sneakers and their socks. And these basketball sneakers, they could cost you up $100 and something dollars and change. So it really depends on what league you're going on. But I have seen leagues that you would say will come from the urban neighborhoods to leagues that went all the way up to very prestigious neighborhoods. And they all wilding out. Every last single one of them. Nobody is exempt. There are still some places and some people, unfortunately, that are racist. It's a hot, stinking mess. Something needs to be done. But until the parents themselves sue, because they're the ones that paying and money talks, until the parents, and it has to be parents across all boards, until they start to say something and do more. I have seen somebody mention the refs. I think it was in my opinion. They need to get neutral refs that don't know nobody in that area and that team. Because 9 times out of 10, because those refs don't get paid that much per game. And they need more than one rep, because one rep is not going to see everything. He may miss something. And I have seen parents get up in the ref face like, yo, are you not paying attention? Did you not catch this? So most of the good games have at least 2 reps. But then if a rep can't make it, then you got one. It's a hot, stinking mess. But that kid was very clear. You walked up to him and you pushed him. And then you're going to say it's messy. I feel for the mother. I hope they get justice in this situation because it was very sad. I'm going to go ahead and move on to this Meghan Markle thing. You know, Meghan, I don't know what's with her. But she seemed like she got a lot going on in that little head of hers. So Meghan Markle and Prince Harry's 11th publicist quit at the final straw of Kardashian birthday photo drama. Meghan Markle and Prince Harry's 11th publicist, Meredith Maines, resigned after the couple's photo drama with the Kardashians. News of Maine's departure as the Duke and Duchess of Sussex's Chief Communications Officer of Archwell Philanthropies was announced Friday. A source tells Page 6 that Maines resigned before Christmas, but is staying with the company through the new year to help with the transition. An insider tells us the drama with the Kardashians was the final straw for Maines. That is her. That's the couple, and she quit. Page 6 had reached out to Harry and Meghan's rep for a comment, but did not immediately hear back. Just weeks before Maines quits, the Harry and Meghan stars made headlines after attending Kris Jenner's 70th birthday party on November the 8th. Harry, 41, and Meghan, 44, arrived at the bash, held at Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sanchez $175 million Beverly Hills, California mansion, hand in hand. They mingled and networked with the A-listers, which included Kim Kardashian, Jay-Z, Beyonce, Bill Gates, Paris Hilton, Tyler Perry, Ciara, Mark Zuckerberg, and many more. After the party, the Skims co-founder, her mom, shared a carousel of photos, including one with the Suits alum and her beau. However, the drama began to unfold when Kardashian and Jenner suspiciously deleted the photos they took with the Sussexes. A source told Page 6 that people close to the royal family thought Harry and Markle's appearance at the bash was so tacky. It truly shows that Harry is so far removed from the rest of the family. These people may be stars in America, but the pure abstemiousness is at odds with what Prince William is trying to do with his life in the monarchy, the insider told us last month. A source told us that the Invictus Games founder and the actress rep asked Jenner and Kardashian 45 to remove Instagram pictures that showed them at the party. They don't want to piss off the royal family while they're trying to reconcile, a source said. Another insider told us that Kardashian Jenner family was just getting annoyed with the Sussex camp for overshadowing what was intended to be a celebration for Chris. As head of PR for Harry and Markle, Maines, who began working for the couple in January, had to deal with all of the public backlash the couple endured. Well, isn't that what she's hired for, though? That's why you need a publicist. On Friday, news surfaced that Maines was stepping away from the role with the Sussexes. A source close to Maines exclusively told Page Six she's unflappable and does not complain. She's really enjoyed her time there, but at a certain point, it's time to go. Coming from VC and tech industries, she's used to so many things going on at all times, the insider continued. Others may have thought it was not a traditional background, but I think it worked well. The amount she was able to do in almost a year was amazing. She launched Meghan's podcast and TV show and looked after the Prince charity work. The source said that Maines did what she needed to do. Harry and Meghan's charity is now down to just 2 employees. They got it rough. Felicia, your thoughts?
I don't understand. What's the conflict?
Say that again.
What's the conflict?
With her and with Meghan and the publicist?
Yeah. What is it that we're looking for? Is a problem because she had 11 publicists?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I'll pass. I'm not sure what it is.
Thank you. In my opinion, your thoughts?
So I think their problem is they don't hire the right people. And this comes from the stuff that she had to go through when she was with the monarchy. And I really do feel bad for her. I think she got a raw end of the deal. She's another one that's just like Princess Di was. She tried to fit in this mold. She tried to do everything to please this family. It was never going to happen. They didn't want her there from the jump. And as a result of that, she's really closed off to any interaction with none of these people. And whenever she speaks out, they feel like, how dare you speak out? But that's your job. Everything that she was complaining about, that's your job. If you didn't want the job, you had every right to take it. You knew she was going to be one of the high profile ones. You knew that when you took it. So miss me with the BS of, oh, I'm so tired, I don't want to do this. That's your job. I think she really needs to vet these people more. I think she needs to get experienced publicists. She's getting these little young girls that's just fresh out because she don't want her business to get back to the monarchy. I know what it is. She don't want her business to get back to them because Harry wants to have a connection with his family, as he should. But at the same time, you can't make fetch happen when fetch ain't gonna happen. Them folks don't want her there. And as much as he want to have that alliance with them, you can't hide all y'all business because everybody's going to be out there snapping it. And you can't just hide it every time you want to go out and have fun. You just can't do it. Oprah gave us some good advice. You know, you got to live in your truth. She don't want to listen to nobody.
Thank you. In my opinion, Julius, your thoughts?
So it's tacky when Harry does it, but it's okay when Will and Kate does it. Okay, got it. Another thing, I need a clock. Now, I agree with, in my opinion, they need a vet and they need to hire experienced publicists. I agree with all of that. I seen the pictures. I thought they were beautiful pictures. I didn't see nothing tacky about it. They was at a party, enjoying themselves, just being 2 people celebrating their friend's birth of life. But I'm going to say it this way because I know it's coming when Charles III does transition to the other realm and we have William, whatever number he's going to have next to his name. Harry's just going to be known as Harry Windsor. And even though I I understand and respect that he wants to reconcile with his family because everybody wants their family. But he has to remember this is the same firm that drove his mother insane. And let me remind the people, Charles Spencer stood on business at his sister's funeral and let them all know, I'm going to be there for these boys. I don't care what you say. I'm paraphrasing. He used different wording, but I'm paraphrasing.
Mm-hmm.
And when Harry stepped away from being a working royal, who had his back? Charles Spencer and Diana's sisters. So if we're going to say it was tacky, they were beautiful pictures. But it's only okay when Will and Kate do it because they're the heirs to the monarchy. Give me a break.
Appreciate you. Thank you, Julius. Katrina, your thoughts?
Yeah. I think the tacky part is because of who they was with, who they went to go be with, which it shouldn't be their business anyway. But they looking at these like the Kardashians are not celebrities to them because of the way that Kim came out with the sex tapes and all that. So they're looking down on that. That's what they're saying that is the tacky part. Not that because of the pictures or anything like that. They're saying that they're hanging around people that are not stars. But the thing of it is, he stepped away from that. She stepped away from that. And Megan knew exactly what she was getting into when she married William. I mean, you knew your obstacles was going to be hard because they looked at you as a black woman, regardless of the fact that you half white. They still seen the black part of you. Um, so she knew she had an uphill battle, and that's why they stepped away. And then calling her child a monkey, saying referencing, yeah, I was stepped away too. And for the publicist to leave, saying that because of the party or whatsoever, that's what you're hired to do. You hired there to redo that. You hired there to hide things. So for Megan to fire her, or she left because of Megan or whatsoever, girl, Megan got a life. William always was at these hot tub parties and stuff. So come on, and he ain't. That is not going to change. That's why they stepped away because he was different from the his brother. They're totally different. And I know he want to be with his family and all that type of stuff too. I get that, but your family talks down to your wife. So no, if I was you, I would stay away. Do what you're doing. If they think it's tacky or whatsoever, then let it be tacky. But the publicist, girl, and I ain't gonna go there. But yeah, leave them folks alone. Leave them alone. Let them have a life. That's all I got.
Thank you. Savannah, your thoughts?
I'm in agreement with Katrina. I think it was more of who instead of the what, because of the Kardashians can be scandalous or have been scandalous, and that's how they have made their fortune. And that party, Kris Jenner's party, everyone was there. The who's who of Hollywood was there, and so this is the party that won't die. I keep hearing stories and pictures and seeing things about this party. But as far as the publicist, to me, it just seems that she wasn't qualified to deal with that high of a profile of a celebrity such as the Meghan and Harry. So I just think that's where the issue is, that she wasn't qualified to deal with it. Although I can see that having 11 publicists so far, that is very problematic. There has to be something. Either she's not addressing expectations, boundaries, and having NDAs in place, or she is continuously hiring the wrong kind of underqualified young publicists that just can basically work the social media, but doesn't really know how to handle her public persona. So I'm still, I love these two together. I can understand why they wanted their pictures not out there in social media, because I know Harry is trying to rebuild a relationship back, especially with his brother, and that his father being ill and battling cancer and other, and just bad health. I know that he needs to continue to have some type of connection to his family. So it is important to them. So I just think that somebody, if anybody's qualified, submit your resume, because Meghan doesn't seem like she vets her people correctly.
She doesn't, but and I'm coming to you, Callie, but let me add this. First of all, she got to read the room too, though, right? Because you're going to a Kardashian birthday party, Kris Jenner birthday party. They are a social media money-making machine. You think pictures are not going to be posted? Girl, come on. So, so part of this is her fault. If you don't want to be out there like that, then you can't go to places where you're going to be out there like that. And Jeff Bezos and his wife too, they don't shy away from the media either. So it was at Jeff Bezos' mansion. You going to a Kardashian, Kris Jenner 70th birthday party. And I'm saying this respectfully. This woman just got her face nipped and tucked. You think there's not going to be pictures, girl? But in terms of the publicist, to me, you're a trash, because that is the definition of your job. If I'm a hot, stinking mess, nobody should know about me being a hot, stinking mess if you my publicist and you on your job. There are some people where they said stuff was swept under the rug for years, and the public never knew about it. Because that's what you call a publicist. So if I'm too tough of a client, then you're the worst publicist known to mankind. Get your game together. If I was in the job and I was a publicist, I would take her on, so I could tell my next client, you know why you never heard nothing about them? Because I was the publicist. Callie, your thoughts?
This is a lot for somebody to be going through.
Hold on 1 second, Callie. I'm coming to you. Michelle, what are you talking about?
Is it made up? Y'all?
No, it ain't made up. No, get out of here. Michelle, the girl quit. What are you talking about? It's been 11 people. Stop. Go somewhere. Go ahead, Callie.
No, I was just going to say, hey, anything is possible. It is a little strange that someone would have 11 publicists. I could see if this was like a 60-year-old woman within her whole lifetime, but this is a short amount of time. One of my good friends actually is a publicist here in Los Angeles, but she works for corporations. This is weird. The only thing I could think of is, and this is what I've always suspected, and I'm not saying that Meghan's a bad person at all. I just think that there's an image that they want to be portrayed. Mm-hmm. Meghan grew up here in Los Angeles. I actually know somebody that was her mom's neighbor, believe it or not. He's a famous jazz musician, not going to say who. And they lived in the Black community here in Los Angeles. So it's always been very odd to me that growing up here, she doesn't seem to know anybody else from here or who's in this city, because I don't even really work in this industry. I'm just kind of around somebody that does. And I have ran into a lot of people, entertainment industry people here. So it just always seemed a little bit weird that, Meghan, you don't know Brandy, you don't know Ray J, like you don't know none of these people. It just always seemed like it's something off here. And so I wonder if there has always been sort of like this covering up her real life. And maybe she does go to events all the time and just sneaks in and sneaks out. And she thought this would be like the last time I did. But no, it just didn't happen this way. That's just always been my theory with her. Because I'm like, how has she been around and nobody knows this girl? And been around and working in the entertainment industry? It's just so weird. So I have a feeling that maybe she goes to events all the time and we just don't know about it. And unfortunately, this time, it was just way too many people there, way too many cameras there for her to sneak in and sneak out like she always does. That's just my theory. But I think they need to let Harry go.
Party. But you know what? Let's not be stupid here. She went to a Kardashian party.
That might not be the first one though. But they need to let Harry go. They need to accept the fact that Harry is not gonna be king. He's gone. Just let him go be a celebrity and let these people make money and live their life, because they want them to be in this gray area where they can't be regular celebrities and then they can't be royals. Just let him go. Let her go be Martha Stewart, do her influencer thing. If she wants to act or whatever she wants to do, if he wants to do hosting or whatever, I think they just need to let him go.
No. They need to let it go. He wants to get back in with his family, which I totally understand.
But he should be able to talk to his family. That's his family.
What I totally understand. You want to be back with your family. But see, so they're treading a line there. Either you want back in or you don't. You know your family don't like you here in America doing whatever it is you're doing. So you can't continue to do whatever it is you're doing in America, but then want to still step your toe back in with the royals. You got to pick a side. And if you go into a party that's with a very public person that loves to post their pictures, and then you got to call and tell people to take down the pictures, then you need to stay home. Period.
Yeah.
So, so you got to figure out your life and not keep impacting people, because you're going to get on my nerves if you call me telling me to take some of my pictures down from my party. And now I got to sit there and go back through all my social media, find the pictures with you and take them down. Just my mama party. Get out of here, girl. I ain't got time for you. So, but anyway, listen, I still think 11 within 5 years is excessive. I think she got a lot going on, and I think Meghan needs to figure it out. You know who you married, okay? You know who you married. You knew it was going to be some challenges, so now you got to figure out your life. And Michelle in the chat, I don't know what you're talking about. I really don't. If you got a point to make, try to make it all in one little post there, one little paragraph, because you saying they did not what? I need to know what are you talking about? But let me go ahead and roll into the last story. This politician, oh gosh, let me just play the video and we'll talk about it. Hold on one second.
And thank you for joining us tonight at 10. I'm William Gure.
And I'm Janice Fernandez. We want to get right to your top story tonight. Breaking news. A South Florida congresswoman indicted, accused of stealing millions of dollars in federal disaster funds and using the money to support her congressional campaign. Congresswoman Sheila Cherfilus-McCormick now facing federal charges.
She'd already been under investigation by the House Ethics Committee this summer. We have team coverage of the indictment tonight. Local 10's DC Bureau Chief Ben Kennedy standing by with reaction from Washington. But we begin with Local 10's Aaron Mabin in Miramar with the charges. Aaron.
Janice and Louie, within the last hour, attorneys for the Congresswoman said they plan to fight to clear her name.
Everybody feels like they're under attack.
Tonight, a federal grand jury indicting Congresswoman Sheila Cherfilus-McCormick and several associates, accusing them of stealing millions in federal disaster funds, laundering the money, and using part of it to support her 2021 congressional campaign.
The money we invested was to make sure that we can touch the people in the community, but the money didn't determine the selection, because most people who put a lot of money in their community, in their campaigns, they don't win.
Federal prosecutors say Cherfilus-McCormick and her brother Edwin Cherfilus ran a FEMA-funded COVID-19 vaccination staffing contract through their family healthcare company. Prosecutors say in July 2021, the company received a $5 million overpayment. Prosecutors say the group diverted that money and tried to hide it through multiple accounts. The indictment says a large portion of those funds was used for campaign contributions and personal expenses. Prosecutors allege the South Florida Democrat and Nadege LeBlanc arranged additional donations using straw donors, funneling money to friends and relatives who then donated to the campaign as if using their own money. Investigators say the Congresswoman, with the help of her tax preparer, David K. Spencer, filed a false federal tax return, allegedly disguising political spending and personal costs as business deductions. U.S. Attorney Jason Redding Quinones writing, public money belongs to the American people. When FEMA funds are diverted for personal or political gain, it erodes trust and harms us all. Attorneys for the Congresswoman writing, she is a committed public servant who is dedicated to her constituents. We will fight to clear her good name.
If convicted, the South Florida Congresswoman could face up to 53 years in prison. The co-defendants could also face decades behind bars. We're live in Miramar tonight. Aaron Mabin, Local 10 News.
Aaron, thank you. Our team coverage now turns to Washington.
Our DC Bureau Chief Ben Kennedy is joining us live with the reaction. Ben.
Today, St. Louis, the Department of Justice says this action makes clear that no one is above the law and plan to prove their case in court. In a statement, Attorney General Pam Bondi said tonight, using disaster relief funds for self-enrichment is a particularly selfish, cynical crime. No one is above the law, least of all powerful people who rob taxpayers for personal gain. We will follow the facts in this case and deliver justice. With FBI Director Kash Patel adding, this individual and her family allegedly stole money from FEMA and then laundered it through friends towards her own personal benefits, including her campaign accounts. Today, the FBI and partners of the DOJ took action. Right now, Cherfilus-McCormick serves on the House Committee of Foreign Affairs. It is also assigned to Veteran Affairs. In July, as Louis talked about at the top of the show, the House Ethics Committee voted to reauthorize an investigative subcommittee to examine allegations involving the South Florida Democratic lawmaker. On social media tonight, Florida Congressman Greg Steube said, tomorrow morning I will be filing a privilege motion to censure Representative Cherfilus-McCormick and remove her from all committees. Tonight, back live here in D.C., she does remain an active member of Congress. In fact, she was reelected in 2024. Her current term ends in January 2027.
So hold on one second. Let me share screen again. Florida lawmaker edits photo to remove 100K ring after being accused of stealing millions. So Rep. Sheila allegedly used some of the misappropriated millions to purchase the accessory in 2021 per a federal indictment. So here she has her official photo. And the first photo you can see there is a ring on her left finger. And then in the Photoshop one, the ring is removed. So Rep. Sheila McCormick was indicted in November for allegedly stealing millions in disaster relief funds and using the money for personal purchases, including a $100,000 ring. After the Congresswoman shared a portrait of herself on Christmas, social media users noticed that the ring had been edited out of the image, which had been previously shared. In a statement, a rep for Sheila said that the decision to edit the photo was not directed, approved, or authorized by the politician. After a Florida Congresswoman shared a portrait of herself in a holiday greeting, social media users were quick to notice that a ring, which was allegedly paid for using funds stolen from relief funds, had been edited out. Rep. Sheila McCormick, a Democrat who represents Florida's 20th Congressional District, shared the message on X Friday, December 25th, posting a portrait of herself and a message that read, "From my family to yours, wishing you a Merry Christmas and a joyful, safe holiday season." In response, X users pointed out that a previously publicized version of the image showed a ring on one of the Congresswoman's fingers. What happened to your ring? And where's the ring that you bought with stolen funds? Were some of the responses sent to Sheila. Sheila was indicted last month on charges that she stole millions in Federal Emergency Management Agency FEMA disaster relief funds, according to CBS 12 and the Miami News-Times. Among the items allegedly purchased was the $100,000 jewelry piece. Sheila's chief of staff, Naomi Pierre-Louis, told CBS 12 in a statement after the new photo was released that action was not directed, approved, or authorized by the Congresswoman. It was a staff-level decision made by well-intentioned individuals seeking to protect the member's reputation. It was unauthorized and should not have occurred, she continued. The image is the Congresswoman's official portrait, and she has no intentions of altering or editing it now or in the future. Pierre-Louis did not immediately respond to people's request for a comment on Saturday, December the 27th. In November, a federal grand jury indicted Sheila on charges that she stole federal disaster money. The politician allegedly used a $109,000 cashier's check to purchase the 3.14 carat yellow diamond ring in New York City in September 2021, according to the Miami News-Times, which cited the indictment. The outlet also consulted with Tiffany & Company, client advisor, who identified the sparkler as two of the luxury jewelers' rings based on the photo. This appears to be Tiffany Fancy Yellow Single Roll Celeste and the Victoria Band ring, the advisor told the Miami News-Times. The federal indictment accuses Sheila and her brother of misappropriating $5 million in FEMA relief funds that were meant for COVID-19 response, according to CBS 12. The indictment alleges that the funds, which were accidentally overpaid to their family-owned company in 2021, were laundered through several accounts and then funneled toward her 2022 congressional campaign, as well as personal spending, including the ring, per CBS 12 and the Miami News-Times. Sheila is charged with the theft of government funds, false tax statements, conspiracy, and more, CBS 12's reported, citing court records. She is facing 15 federal counts in total, and if convicted, can face up to 53 years behind bars, according to the outlet. The Congresswoman, who surrendered to authorities in Miami on November 25th and was subsequently released on bond, has pleaded not guilty, per the news. She is scheduled to appear in court for her arraignment on Monday, December 29th, which is tomorrow. She's in a lot of trouble for what they're accusing her of. Kash Patel is leading the FBI with a focus on raising her star profile, according to his agents. The 45-year-old FBI director who had no prior experience at the agency. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. I'm going into a whole nother story. I'm sorry, guys. That's it with that story. In my opinion, your thoughts?
I got a lot of them. Ooh. You know what? Every time I hear them going after somebody, I wonder what taking so long. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Seems like everybody is crooked in these government offices. And when they throw stuff out like 2021, and we finna go into 2026, I'm like, what took you so long? Why are we having to wait and hear this witch hunt now?
Mm-hmm.
You know, they keep saying these people, because they done scammed somebody, now they want justice. But we sitting here with a president that was convicted, and we don't want justice for him. You know what? If she did this, she should get her time and do it.
Mm.
But I still feel like, when are we gonna balance these scales out some? You know, we can't have it for certain people. The law is gonna be passed down, but for others, we gonna let them slide.
You know, we often have this conversation with so many different things, but I will roll back and help people understand. Keep playing games. You can't do like they do. And it's just a point blank in the period. So if you want to catch yourself out here doing the foolery, because wrong is wrong. And unfortunately, we don't have control over who they're going to punish and won't punish. But I can tell you this, when we do it, they're going to make sure we get punished. Why would you roll the dice with your life like that? 53 years.
But I'm just saying, you know, I just hate it when they say we going to get justice for the American people. If you getting justice for the American people, then get justice across the board. I don't want to just see one demographic or one side of it being held accountable. I want all sides to be. Like I said, if she did it, I want her to serve some time. I really do. I want her to get, the time she deserves, because you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. But at the same time, I don't want nobody else from this side that's doing it too be able to get away with it, and they throwing their dirt up under the bus because they getting the latch they wagging on to this one. It's just I hate the way our politics work here.
Yeah, the justice ain't fair. It's not. Savannah, your thoughts?
No, justice ain't fair, but it isn't blind either. And she did this. She did this. And it makes me so sad. So sad, because she was, first of all, she represents 20th district, that's in Fort Lauderdale and West Palm Beach area, which is where Mar-a-Lago is. So he is making a point to make an example out of her, plus the rhetoric and accusations that he's been spewing lately of Somalians stealing millions from Michigan, and using also this congresswoman. I know she's Haitian. He doesn't know that she's from Haiti. He keeps calling her a Somalian, but it's because she is accused of stealing funds from federal agencies. Her husband, who is a lawyer, I don't believe he's representing her anymore. I think someone else is. However, she's going to be doing some time. And it's heartbreaking, because she was the first Haitian woman in her district to win this seat. And when these people get in, these people that get put in positions of power, they get connected to lobbyists and people who feed them money, and they don't learn the game that is politics here. You have to be willing to lie, cheat, and steal, and still show up to church on Sunday. So it is ridiculous. It's unfortunate. I agree that she needs to do the time, and she was someone I was rooting for, and it was so disheartening to know that she did this, and they are going to make an example out of her, saying, "Look at the crooked Democrats," and she just played into their lies and their rhetoric that they've been spewing and have been doing, and she's going to be doing some time, unfortunately.
Thank you, Julius. Your thoughts?
Lock her up and let her do her time.
Yeah, I appreciate you. This is the problem, right, Raheem? Imagine waiting for years to get your FEMA relief check, and she got 100,000 of it sitting right on her finger. Just unbelievable. Callie, your thoughts?
Yeah, she needs to go to jail. I'm sorry. Look, if you wanted this big old diamond engagement ring, you should have found a man to buy you one legally. I don't know. She over here trying to pull sound like she was living. Didn't they say she was wearing it on her ring finger, like a engagement ring or something? So you over here living in a fantasy, like you had some man give you this $100,000 ring of this money that you have stolen from people who need it. She needs to go to jail. Bye. If our politicians in Louisiana can go to jail, she can go to jail too. Now, as far as that man in that office, they knew it was a loophole that would not prevent him from running again when they decided to go through with that case. And I've said this before, that is why they should not have done it, because they knew that it would. So it's like people running around going, he was convicted. So the law does not, that didn't stop. So we were just going to have a president in jail. Like it doesn't change the fact that doesn't prevent him from running. That doesn't change. So I don't even think about that anymore, because in my opinion, they should never did it in the first place. I think it made the country look even worse. We already look bad enough. So, yeah, but lock her up.
Listen, here's the thing. I don't even really pay no more attention to the whole Trump thing either, because all of this was happening and everything about him was known when he was running. And there was people that still went to that voting booth and said yes to the mess. Katrina, your thoughts?
Yeah, Diva. FEMA money is supposed to be used for disasters and tornadoes and earthquakes and stuff like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, so why are they using that money to pay for Trump golf games? They're paying the money they took from FEMA. They're using that for Trump to go to Mar-a-Lago to play golf. FEMA went to Florida, tried to help the people in Florida. I'm not knocking what she did. What she did was stupid. I'm just saying in general. FEMA went to Florida to help Florida. They told them, we don't need your help. We don't want you here. Because Trump told them that they was going to have to pay the money back. So these people, FEMA was going around everywhere. These people had pow-pows waiting for somebody. FEMA van that come in my yard, but yet still you ain't got a roof on top of your head. They used this money is for disasters. What she did was totally stupid. If you're going to funnel something like that, why are you being flashy with it? See, that's the thing is, they, like we said, Diva, we can't do what they do. Because this man using $300 million to fund his golf games, they taking that from the FEMA. And what gets me is when Cash Patel and Pam Bondi saying nobody is above the law, but y'all taking this money and giving to this man to go play golf. Yes, she need to be locked up, and he need to be right alongside her. And them, Cash Patel, Pam Bondi, all of them need to be put into a jail cell. Because how you gonna tell these people that nobody's above the law when this man sent up in the president in the White House? So you always say nobody above the law. Actually, he is above the law because he's still sitting in the White House. Make it make sense. And yes, she need to be locked up as well because you taking this money from people who definitely need it, and you going around buying rings and stuff like that. What about the people that was out there don't have a place to sleep, don't have a roof over their heads, don't have nothing? I'm not talking about the ones that said they don't want FEMA. I'm talking about the ones that needed FEMA and they couldn't get it because of what the president said they was going to have to pay the money back. Telling them not to use the FEMA money, but yet still he using the FEMA money to go down there to play golf. This is ridiculous and sick. I'm sick of these folks stealing from the people that basically need it soon as they ask those PPP loans. I mean, come on. Anytime the government giving you the same amount of money, you know it's a catch. And then you wonder why you get circled back and your loan is not forgiven. It's crazy. And they taking all this, the FEMA and stuff like that, and think about the kids that's in school. Y'all making these kids pay back all this money, knowing that when you get out of college, you don't get those jobs right then and right there. I mean, these kids, these fees and stuff, that's what the money should be allocated against. Since he wants to go play golf, instead of him going playing golf, they should be allocated to the kids with student loans. But of course, they're not going to look at it as our way. And yes, she needs to be in jail, and so do he. But that's all I got, Diva.
Thank you. Listen, I hope she could find a way to figure out and explain this mess. It's a mess, okay? And funds going to your family business is messy. And just $109,000 ring is disgusting. I'm going to stay connected to the hoops drama story because I feel like that mother, she felt like she had to go down there and make sure her boy didn't get a whole beat down because obviously the coach and nobody else was caring. Okay, Sheila McCormick, we'll see. Yeah, everything is innocent until proven guilty, but when a lot of things are stacked against you, it's a hot stinking mess. But listen, everybody, y'all know the routine. If you ain't hit that like button on the way in, do the Diva a favor, hit it on the way out. I appreciate y'all spending some time with me on this Sunday night. Good night and goodbye, everybody. Choo choo.
Choo choo choo.